Many people who save and invest on a regular basis assume they're on track. But putting money away consistently and putting away the right amount are two very different things. Here's what I've noticed working with clients across a wide range of incomes. Most people want to save more, but the ones that actually do, they're not trying harder than everyone else. They decided on a number, a real specific number. And in this video, I'm going to help you find yours. Here's what I've noticed working with clients across a wide range of incomes. Most people want to save more, but the ones that actually do, they're not trying harder than everyone else. They decided on a number, a real specific number. And in this video, I'm going to help you find yours. Let's be honest about how most people actually save. The intention's always there. You tell yourself that this month you'll be more disciplined, you'll cut back a bit, and whatever's left at the end of the month, you'll put away. And sometimes that works. But more often than not, the end of the month arrives and there isn't much left. Life happened, a bill came up, a few nights out, a weekend away. In the end, you may have saved something, but not as much as you wanted. So you carry a vague sense that you should be doing better, but you're not quite sure what better actually looks like. Is 5% enough? Should it be 20%? Does it matter at all if your expenses are high? What if you have debt? What if you're starting late? What most people are missing isn't motivation, it's clarity. They don't have a number. And without a number, saving becomes something that happens by accident or doesn't happen at all. Saving without a target is just hoping. And hope is not a financial strategy. As kids, most of us would have been told to save more and spend less, but not what the actual number should be or how to figure it out in a way that's grounded in our real lives and our real goals. Here's what I've found actually works. Instead of starting with a percentage and hoping it's enough, start with the goal and work backward. Figure out what you actually need for retirement, for your kids' education, for whatever matters to you. And then calculate what that requires you to set aside today. That number might be higher than you expected. It might even be uncomfortable. But it's real. And a real number, even an inconvenient one, is always more useful than a vague rule of thumb. So let's talk about how to find it. Let me give you a real example from my work. I sat with a client who was 40 years old. He had $100,000 invested and was putting away $12,000 a year. And he felt pretty good about where he was. And honestly, on the surface, he had reason to. At that savings rate, he was on track to retire comfortably at 65. The problem? His actual goal was to retire at 55 on $60,000 a year. When we ran the numbers on that target, the picture looked very different. To retire at 55, with the income he wanted, he needed to be saving close to $40,000 a year, not $12,000. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was setting money aside, he was investing it. He just hadn't connected his savings rate to his actual goal. Once he did, he had a real decision to make and real information to make it with. The same logic applies to any financial goal. If you want $50,000 or $100,000 set aside for each of your kids' college costs and you have 8 or 12 years to get there, you can work backward to figure out exactly what you need to save each month to make that happen. The math is straightforward. What changes is your relationship to the number because now it means something. Now, I'll be honest about something. Sometimes when you do this exercise, the number you land on may not be feasible right now. Maybe the gap between where you are and where you need to be is significant. That's not a reason to give up. It's a reason to get clear. Maybe it means adjusting the goal. Maybe it means finding ways to increase your income over time. Maybe it means accepting a longer timeline. But at least you're working with reality, not assumptions. And if you're earlier in the journey, if you're not yet saving consistently, a straightforward benchmark like 10 or 15% of your income is a perfectly reasonable place to start. It won't tell you whether you're on track for your specific goal, but it will get you moving. And moving in the right direction always counts. When I sit down with new clients, one of the things I always ask is, how much are you saving each month or year? And it's striking how often the answer is some version of, I'm not sure, or it varies. That's not unusual, but it's also almost always the starting point of the problem. What I found is that the clients who make the most progress are the ones who get honest about the gap between what they're saving and what they actually need to save, and then make a plan to close it, step by step. Progress toward a real goal beats perfect adherence to a rule of thumb every time. Saving isn't complicated in theory. What makes it hard is the lack of structure, the absence of a clear, committed number tied to something that actually matters to you. So here's what I'd encourage you to do after this video. Pick one goal: retirement, a college fund, a down payment on a property, something real, and work backward. Figure out what you need, over what time frame, and what monthly savings number that translates to. There are many simple online sites that do this for you. If that number is within reach, great, automate it and protect it. If it's not yet within reach, that's still valuable. Now you know what you're working toward, and you can make informed decisions about how to close the gap over time. And that clarity is worth more than any rule of thumb. I'd love to know where you're currently at. Are you saving toward a specific goal? Or is it still a work in progress? Drop it in the comments. There's no right or wrong answer, and it helps to know where people are actually starting from. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more clear, practical, personal finance guidance. See you in the next video.